Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I'm Sarah. This is No BS Beauty. So today I want to talk about how to exfoliate your skin to look younger and help improve collagen production deep down in your skin. So these are my favorite exfoliants for glowing and smooth skin. So when it comes to exfoliants, there's a lot of different types. There's 4 major categories: AHAs, which are lactic, glycolic, malic acid, BHAs, salicylic acid, PHAs, and there's even a 4th category called LHAs, which are probably the most gentle. PHAs and LHAs are very gentle. But when it comes to those 4 categories, there's only 1 category, and of that category, 2 products or ingredients that are really proven, that have research to show that they actually help with collagen production deep down in skin. So, HAs have evidence of increasing collagen and dermal thickness of skin. So they exfoliate the surface, and by doing that, they stimulate fibroblasts deep down in your dermis or your skin. So this leads to increased collagen production and thickening of the skin, even though the very top layer, the stratum corneum, gets thinner with use of these. The deeper part of your skin gets thicker. So more collagen, healthier skin, smoother, firmer skin, and less of the dead skin layer. So when it comes to the specific HAs, glycolic acid has the most backing and most evidence, and lactic acid also has some evidence, just a little bit more gentle. I have to wipe my nose, sorry. It's winter, my nose will run all winter long and all summer long from allergies, so it's just great. Okay, so I've got some recommendations, and typically, so these recommendations are at an amount high enough. So typically research shows around 10% and at a proper pH between 3 and 4. So these products fit into those categories, and I've got a handful of them, not a whole ton. But the nice thing is there's a variety of prices in this, so from pretty affordable to more expensive. So okay, first up is the Geek and Gorgeous Smooth Out Liquid Exfoliant. So this one has 10% glycolic acid and 2% lactic acid. It also contains prickly pear extract, Panthenol, and Xylitol, which are all 3 great soothing ingredients. So this one is literally a liquid. You can just pat it onto skin. This little bottle, how much does this have in it? Probably an ounce. Lasts me quite a while. I typically, over the years, have gone more towards BHAs, but I'm turning that around this year and into 2026. I don't need BHAs as much. I need thicker skin, more collagen. And the older you get, I think everyone that's younger probably will need BHAs for pores and things like that, or acne. And then as you get older, it's best to kind of evolve into towards AHAs. Or if you have very, very dry, sensitive skin and you're not too worried about collagen, then very gentle exfoliant, glucolactol might be the way to go, or PHAs. So this one's literally liquid. You get a ton out of it. If you put it on a cotton pad, it won't go as far, but if you just use it as a liquid and just pat it on, a little bit of it goes a long way. So there you go. Yeah, very nice. No scent, no fragrance, no alcohol. It's wonderful. Geek and Gorgeous has 3 different exfoliants, but if you're looking for anti-aging, out of all 3, this is the one you want to go to. So okay, next up is Paula's Choice. This is their smoothing treatment, 10% AHA. So this one uses a 10% blend of glycolic, lactic, and malic acid, and it also contains salicylic acid. A lot of these, you'll notice, do that. Contain some salicylic acid for pores, I guess. This one also contains the Matrixyl 3000 peptide duo, pomegranate extract, and chamomile for soothing, and this one's just a liquid, kind of a liquidy serum type texture. So there you go. A little bit thicker than the Geek and Gorgeous, so it doesn't go quite as far in terms of, I would say 3 drops from this is enough to cover my whole face. A bottle like this will last me a couple months, using it a few times a week. You don't necessarily need to use exfoliants every day. I would recommend using them every other day and alternating at night with retinoids. You don't want to use these exfoliants during the daytime. During the daytime, you want to focus on sunscreen and antioxidants, and at nighttime, focus on anti-aging like retinoids and things like that. Okay, and the more expensive note of these is the Drunk Elephant T.L.C. Framboos Glycolic Serum. If you notice, my bottle says 12% AHAs, which is not the current formula. Now the current formula is 10% blend of glycolic, lactic, and tartaric acid and 1% salicylic acid. So this was their previous formula. They changed it at some point. I'm not exactly sure what year or when or what or why, but perhaps they thought 12% was a little too much. This one has a really nice gel texture, but it's expensive. So in addition to all those, it's got aloe, marula oil, raspberry extract, and green tea. And it's upwards of $90. I think Drunk Elephant will probably have a sale after Christmas, so I don't know. It is expensive, but it's a really nice gel texture. But to be honest, all of these are very similar. I don't necessarily think one of these is technically going to be better than the others just because it's more expensive. These, in terms of pH and formula, it's pretty simple, and no fragrance and no alcohol. So, okay, next up is the PSA Skin Goals Night Serum. So this one uses a 12% blend of glycolic, lactic, Pyruvic, BHA, and PHA blend. So this is heavy on glycolic and lactic acid. Thankfully, I'm not sure it said exactly what percentage of it is the glycolic and lactic, but the majority of it is, and it also has Lactobacillus ferment, Bisabolol, Rosehip oil, Centella, and green tea. I will link to this one below. This one's got a serum lotion texture to it as well. I'm very close to being done with this bottle, but very similar to the Paula's Choice texture. You can see it a little bit right there. So yeah, so this one's nice, no fragrance, none of that. PSA Skin was started by the Allies of Skin, and then they sold it to another company. So anyway, so they're not under the same umbrella, but they really haven't released a ton of new products since the new company bought them. I think they might have released one new product. So yeah, so the brand's still pretty much the same as far as I understand. So okay, a couple more options. Next up is the HoliFrog Halo HA/BHA Evening Serum. This one follows the same formulation, 10% AHA blend of glycolic, lactic, phytic, and citric acids, and then 1% salicylic acid. And then it also has aloe, rosehip oil, and apple extract. You notice the commonalities. These all seem to have very similar exfoliant formulations and very similar supporting actor ingredient formulations. So this one's really nice. Got kind of a lotiony serum texture to it. Let me see if I can. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Yeah, very similar texture again to the other ones. So I wouldn't necessarily say one of these is going to be better than the others. I've tested the pH of all these. These are all very similar. Although when it comes to the next one, this one is markedly different. So for this one, the Peach and Lily Power Cocktail Lactic Acid, this one, you have to be the believer that lactic acid is also as good and effective as glycolic acid. Research doesn't quite show that yet, but it does show promising benefits, so keep that in mind. So this one I'd set aside from the others, but it's still, lactic acid still has some benefits for collagen. So this one's just basically 10% lactic acid. If you're a believer in lactic acid, you also get the ordinary lactic acid I want to mention, which they've got 10% and 5% formula. In additional ingredients, this one also contains green tea, ginseng, ceramides, hyaluronic acid, ginkgo biloba, mushroom extract, no fragrance. Again, I will link to this one at Ulta below. And then I just wanted to mention a runner-up is the Youth to the People Kombucha and 11% AHA exfoliating toner. This one's another combo of lactic and glycolic acid. Then it's also got black tea and tree bark extract in it. So this one's obviously another liquid. You can just pat it on the skin and use it like that. There's not a ton of K-Beauty alternatives to these that I see out there. Isntree has an exfoliant out there, and Cosrx has an exfoliant out there, but nothing that I see, in my opinion, that is a direct competitor to these. So in terms of the pH, the formula, and all of that, Purito has one, but generally the K-Beauty options and alternatives to these is a lot more gentle and a lot lower. Good Molecules also has one, but that one contains a lot of denatured alcohol is what I saw. Their overnight exfoliating treatment. So yeah, so when it comes to K-Beauty alternatives, I really haven't found any that, in my opinion, is going to directly compete with any of these. These are going to be the best. I put these in order, in my opinion, of effectiveness and efficiency. So I would start with the Geek and Gorgeous if you haven't tried that. That's the one to start with, in my opinion, especially price. It's not ridiculously expensive. It's a liquid. It lasts you a long time, and go down from there. So if you don't want it Geek and Gorgeous, you can't get it, Paula's Choice would be my next recommendation, and then Drunk Elephant and going down. So yeah, so these exfoliants are great. Certainly, if you haven't used a lot of exfoliants before, start out slow. Be sure to moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. And if you're going to use these with other peptides and things like that, give them time in between so your pH can go back to normal. I believe, and it's been researched, that if you apply an exfoliant with a super low pH or something like vitamin C, and you immediately after apply like a copper peptide serum, the pH may be so low that it may damage the bonds of the peptide and render it ineffective. So if you can apply it, give it a minute for your skin to kind of lower the pH, or use a neutralizing product in between is the best way to go, and from my experience. So anyway, curious if you have any other favorites that I didn't mention. Glycolic acid, typically 10%, pH between 3 and 4 is 3-ish, where you want to be. Fragrance-free, and then alcohol-free. Exfoliants are already going to be cause time for your skin to readjust and things like that, so alcohol can even dry it out faster. So I think and alternating every night is the way to go, unless you don't use retinoids, and then you can certainly use them every night if you prefer. But anyway, and do a patch test as well. I want to mention that. So anyway, leave your thoughts below. Thanks so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.